Hello, everyone. Jak Syn here on behalf of TourFiend.com and Future Daze, and today it is another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. Today, I am sitting with Shezan of RONIN. How you doing today?
Hey man, good to be here, man. I'm doing excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's a nice, beautiful day outside. I'm on vacation. I'm having a good time. It's a little cold here, a little chilly. Where we're at. But of course it's just it's 11 a.m. and things are starting to warm up. So we'll just see how the temperature goes. I mean, how is it where you're at? I mean, is it nice and warm where you're at right now?
It's fairly warm. I can't complain. Happy to exchange, man. I think like the city could use some cold over here as well.
I agree with that. I think it would be great if you bring some of that warm weather over here, get us like nice and warmed up again. Because I'm starting to get that feeling. I want spring. I want summer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for some form of winter to come this side. I mean, like, don't really get to wear too much of hoodies over here. So yeah, I'll take it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So today we're going to ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. You ready to get into it?
Absolutely, man. Let's go.
So tell us about your project, Ronin.
It came out because like I used to play in a metal band before. The band was called Providence, and we used to play like a lot of heavy metal and like tour around the country and like play a lot of the metal circuits and stuff. Very fortunate enough to support Megadeth on tour twice over here. Fear Factory, Carcass, like a bunch of bands. And then I think we were around for 10 years, and then suddenly, the band just sort of disbanded, as it happens with a lot of metal bands. I just felt like I need to go, get something going on my own, which is a bit more permanent. So I was constantly trying to figure if I want to do, another metal band and just do the whole band thing all over again. But I think there was a there was a fair amount of like break for me from playing live for I think about 5 years or so. And in those 5 years, I came across like synthwave music in general. I think the first song I heard was "The Mountain" by Gunship, and it completely blew my mind, man. Like, so so I just wanted to make music like that, and over the course of 5 years, I just got into synthesizers and uh, developing production chops and also just practicing my instruments and everything. And then yeah, cut to 5 years later, here we are. Like Ronin is up and running, and the EP's out and everything. So that's pretty much like the gist of how it everything came out for me as an artist and a musician.
That's actually great. I love that because here you are on this like metal journey, like being a metal artist, and going from that to going to do full electronic music because you're inspired by this wonderful genre that we're all connected with is yes, the synthwave genre, the outrun synthwave, dark synth, all that. It's such a beautiful genre with all kinds of different influences, and it's really kind of bringing artists in from all over who want to help contribute to its sound. I think that's just really, really great. And also too, like being able to bring that over. I mean, your sound for your release that you put out, Kyoto Inferno, it is really, really good stuff. I mean, it has that really good like electronic, an Eastern electronic vibe. It has that a little bit of that Eastern flair to it that I really enjoy. When I heard it, it's great stuff.
Thank you, man. Like for me, for Kyoto, like one of the reasons I picked the name Ronin was because as a young metal boy, you're so influenced by the whole culture of like just say heavy metal, and when you're at that age of getting influenced by everything, metal also comes with a lot of don't be a sellout, let's be underground, let's be cult, and the mentality of certain metal subsects that come. And when I decided to pursue synthwave, I decided to go with the name Ronin because I just wanted to be genre agnostic, if that makes any sense. Today, Ronin is synthwave. Maybe 5 years down the line, it could just be an ambient project. Another 5 years down the line, it could just be something completely different, where I'm not bound by the how do I put it, man? Like by the culture of a particular genre, because um, I just didn't want to be a guitar player in a metal band anymore, and I wanted to just be an artist and do my own thing. Which is why when I started getting into Ronin, I decided that. So a lot of my friends keep nagging me that it's your metal hangover that you let loose on the first EP, because it has like a lot of heavier guitar tones and bass tones for say traditional synthwave music. Um, but like I said, genre agnostic, and I just wanted to have a go at it. And I'm a huge fan of uh, Japan in general. So with the whole with Ronin, with the EP name Kyoto Inferno, I just wanted to get some traditional Japanese instruments in. So I got the koto in, and that's where the East Asian flavor comes from in the album. But that being said, at the end of it, I'm still a heavy metal guy. Like I love metal, I still listen to it a lot, and I wanted to make sure that I still have a stamp of metal in whatever way I could. So instead of opting for, say, a traditional synth bass, I just decided to go with a full-blown five-string distorted bass, and that's running throughout the EP in general.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and that right there is amazing, because you're throwing those influences you've had over the years into it. You're injecting that stuff into it, and that's what it's all about. And you're right. As you continue to flow with this project, things may change. You may go to a different sound, but that's just the journey of an artist. With one release is not going to sound like the next release, and so on and so forth. Everything's always going to change. It's always going to be influenced by something else. So I think that's pretty awesome. That you're gonna that who knows where you'll be in 5 years? Who knows what the sound will be like in 5 years? And who knows where, what will influence you in 5 years? So that's always really awesome to think about.
Right. Like when Ronin started, I was my synthwave journey started off with say Gunship. Then I got into Midnight, and uh, eventually I ended up getting into Carpenter Brute and Perturbator, and I saw their live shows, and it blew my mind. And I was like, that's how I'd like to be, uh, where I can cater to audiences who want to listen to music across the board, and are happy to listen to heavier sounds, melodic sounds, just poppy synth stuff. And right now it is how it sounds, but I've already I've already started working on like the second album, and the second album still has the sounds from say Kyoto Inferno, but it's moving a little towards say a bit more pop and dance direction. So you're right, like at this point it is what it is, but maybe 5 years down the line it might actually be something completely different. Like for me, one of my major influences just in general is Def Leppard. And when I was working on Kyoto Inferno, I was listening to the song "Women" by Def Leppard, and the bass tone really struck out for me when I heard the bass tone, and I was like, fuck, that's the kind of bass tone I think I would want to proceed with in my music. So right now it's a mixture of glam bands and rock and roll and like a bit of heavy metal and a bit of synthwave, but I do intend on toning it down a bit on the heaviness and moving it towards a bit more pop direction, maybe hopefully by the end of the year. But 5 years, man, I have no idea where it'll be. Like for me, 5 years from now is largely about existence. That Ronin as an entity or an act should at least, at the minimum, have a 5 year career span. Like not really thinking massive long term, but thinking goals that can be achieved, in a course of 6 months. Like that's how I function. Like I'll plot something for half a year, and then I'll try to execute as much as I can for those 6 months, and then put out the release, and then move on to say the second phase of the year. So I have like a year or two plotted out on my map, but beyond that, I have no idea. So yeah, so we'll see how that happens. So one of the better things that have happened is I compose a lot of music for films over here in my country, and advertising, like just TV commercials and stuff. and I've also scored for video games. So there's been this game that I've been working for, I think, past 2 years. It's currently on Steam for wish list and everything. So the good thing that has come out is that the developers have agreed to put the soundtrack under Ronin instead of Shezan. It'll be published as Ronin. So the game comes out at the end of the year. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I think it would also help Ronin expand into newer audiences, like just gamers in general, which is for me is also one of my target audiences, which I'm trying to aim at.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to hear something like that. I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, because you are definitely a very talented artist. Being able to hear what you put out, really some top-notch stuff. Definitely, my friend.
Thank you, man.
What was your favorite part about working on your debut album?
Everything. Just like I completely enjoyed the process. So because again, man, like my association as a musician largely lies on the band that I was in, because those were my experiences from the age of 16 to the age of 28. So I would just I'd write a guitar part or a riff, and then I would walk into the jam room and I would present it to the band, and then we would work on it together collectively. Like the drummer would lay his parts, the guitar player would whether it's harmonies or changing a riff, bass player, the vocalist. So everyone would come in with their parts, and you'd end up writing something or you'd not end up writing something. And if it's a good idea, you'd go back home and rework it, then hit the jam room again, and then it's a whole process in general of collaborative songwriting. So when I started working on this album, I was having too much fun because it was very unrestrained, if that makes any sense. Because in a band, you're always like, hey man, I don't think this section's going to work out, but you really, really like that section, like, hey man, can we have this? But it's a majority call. If 4 people shoot it down, it's done. You pick your battles in that scenario. Like, am I really dying to have this section included in this song? No, I can shift it to some other song. So, but with just working on Kyoto Inferno, it was, oh, I like this, I'll put it in. So then I'd write down a part and I'd revisit it 3-4 days later, and I would not enjoy it. So there was a constant self-improvement, if that makes any sense, man, because everything was done by me. So I was learning just like drums. I was figuring how to incorporate guitar riffs on poppier synths, and then the whole distorted bass tone and everything. I'm fairly certain if Ronin was a band, distorted bass tones would not be allowed. So yeah, I had a lot of fun just learning and getting my production chops up, and just making music without any interference, so to speak. So yeah. Plus, I also while working, I also got while I was making the album, I also got interested in learning how to just mix on the fly. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily very good at it, but what it did was it gave me an insight on how the song would actually end up sounding at the end of it, when it's completely when the song is complete. So learning about just mixing and just tone shaping in general sort of really helped me out. I learned a lot about effects and delays and reverbs, and like how to just mix a lot of things in general to make it sound a bit more lush and spacey in general. Because while I listen to a lot of music, and again largely metal, it's a bit of an intimidating space, because it's you just come in with a guitar and like a distortion tone and like you have at it. But when you're trying to soundscape a song which is 4 minutes long, it was a lot of fun just learning how to give the ambience to the sound. If that makes any sense.
You're right. With being able to have that background that you have, you're right. When you're put in that position, where you're able to create yourself, it's like you get free reign. to go as crazy as you want. You can go big, you can go small, it doesn't matter. You're able to kind of really play in that space, that you wouldn't normally get with the band. Like I can totally relate with that. Coming from a band background, rock background, years ago, it's like you have a band, you have this system where it was, everybody's ideas count, but like sometimes it's like not every idea can be used. So a lot of things get thrown out, a lot of things get used, a lot of things, get pushed back on the wayside, for some other time. But ultimately, when you get that freedom to kind of put whatever you want out in whatever format you want, you can really play in that space really, really well. So I totally see where you're coming from with that.
Right. So even in all fairness, though, I do miss, not having like the band around also, because that comes with its own vibe, like everyone's a character. There are 5 people, you're just hanging out and, you're shooting the shit. You stuck in a part, you take a smoke break and then you jump back in, crack some jokes and, like the whole wonder of being in a band is being with like really good friends and making music as a collaborative effort. And when you've completed a song, there's someone to hi-fi and like, no, that sounds sick, right? But over here, it's just a computer and like monitors and headphones, and you've written the song and then there's no one around, so you have to like hey man, does that sound that good? Like I'm not really sure, because like you're so used to having more than one singular opinion of a musician, and then suddenly there's no one to tell you if it sounds good or not, and you have to just trust your instinct on that front, like that hey, I think this is good and I really don't think I need to spend any more time on this track, because I think that's also a trap, right? Because you might have written the best track on day one, but you get stuck in the space where you're like, fuck, I got to see if I can elevate this, or like, bring in something or take something out. And what should have been like a 2 or 3 day job eventually ends up being a month-long production hell just for no rhyme or reason. So yeah, band, artist, both have its pros and cons. That being said, I do plan on taking Ronin live, but I have no intentions of making it, say, a DJ set. I want to take it live as a full-fledged band. So rock, synth, whatever it is, but it has to be like a full-fledged live act.
Well, that is definitely going to be awesome. I look forward to seeing that for sure. What was the drive behind getting you into making music?
So I used to play football, soccer for you guys, but we call it football. So I used to play football in my school till my college days, till I had an injury and I had to sit out for about 6 to 8 months. And during that phase, I think I was about 15 years old. I heard Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark on the radio. And it blew my mind, man. I was like, what the fuck are these guys playing? What is this guitar solo? And just the sound of Fear of the Dark got me hooked. And then I went out to guitar lessons. I found a killer teacher who was like head first into heavy metal. And like he had the Hetfield mustache and he would sing. And he had the Dave Mustaine Flying V and he would sing and riff it out. And I was just like I want to do this, So I used to guitar tech for him, and I learned a lot about just being on stage by guitar teching for him. And then eventually, man, I just got into it. And over the course of time, I don't think I looked at anything else as a career. Like I had no backup plans. Like, hey, if it doesn't work out as a musician, I'll go get a job, or like I'll work here, and I had no backup plans. So it was music or nothing. It suddenly grew into that. But when I started out as a musician, that was not necessarily the case. It was largely about being on stage and just headbanging and stuff like that. And over the years of just, trying to make a living off of music full time, I got into production in general, and then started going way out from, say, the music circuit and more in the entertainment industry circuit, and started networking there. And then I got my first TV commercial, and it sort of like just built up from there, because I don't think I stopped ever. while I've had like really shitty days, because again, like I said, there was no backup plan. So there have been days where, like, you're broke, and there have been days where like, hey man, band practice is canceled today. Like, it's not happening. Can't step out of the house. Got to save some money. so so I've had those days also, but throughout it all, um, I just I see myself somewhere as a musician. I don't know where that somewhere is, and I'm still trying to find that spot of somewhere. But it's been a grind, but I've actually thoroughly enjoyed the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, while it's been tough, I've not really found places that I could complain for. I've had anger vents about, like, fuck music and fuck being a musician. It's damn hard. It's damn difficult. Support this, audience that, money, and like I would have those breakdowns with my friends, but it was never to the point where I was like, I'm going to quit music and not do it. So I moved into the advertising commercial space. Then I eventually started. I put up a studio, like a recording studio, where we've dubbed about 500 TV commercials, a bunch of Bollywood films, which have gone on to win, best sound design awards and everything for some really big production houses. I was also fortunate enough to, make music for Adidas Winter Olympics TV commercial, or VH1 for MTV, for FX HD. So it's slowly, while the live musician space started going down, the monetary gains and the commercial space sort of started going up. And then I got my first feature film, like a Bollywood film. It's on Netflix if you ever want to watch it. It's subtitled, so you're good. So I got into the feature film, and from there on, because I figured, like, it's not a question of when do you start making money as a musician, like a full-time musician. It's a question of how you start making money as a musician, and already, say, doing commercial work on films and advertising. I just started deciding, like, I'm a video game addict, if it counts for anything. I love video games, man. So it's a vice for me. Like, my money goes into games. So I figured, like, it would be awesome if I could get, if I could make music for video games. So I started off I did a trailer for this video game called Ministry of Broadcast for their Tokyo Game Show. It's a company based out of Czech Republic. And the fact that, I'm sitting here in India, and I was able to score for a video game based out of Czech Republic, which, for a trailer which is being played in Japan, was really motivating enough for me to, pursue this a lot more. So by the time that trailer came out, I did a Comic-Con trailer for this game called Deep Inertia, which was based out of Australia. And so I got like a tiny video game reel also happening for me. So I started pitching that out to a bunch of game developers. And yeah, man, eventually I got a full-fledged game where I'm scoring from start to finish, trailers, score, menu music, theme music, a bit of sound effects, everything. And then very recently, I was fortunate enough to compose the music for Cyberpunk 2077 promo for the Indian sector. So yeah, like, I focused more on making music and the happiness that, every small milestone as a musician that it gets me. Because, like, starting from a small music trailer for a game, for a company based out of Czech Republic, to being able to do promo music for Cyberpunk, those were things I never expected. So instead of, while I was pursuing the career, instead of focusing on, say the downside, which is the struggle or the grind that comes as a musician, I just focused on the happiness that, these small milestones were bringing for me. And then I just started setting targets a little bigger than what I was setting earlier, and I started chasing those. So yeah, man, I'm very happy that, I didn't quit music. And I just made inroads in a bunch of different sectors as a musician. So in the whole hustle of things, I've actually forgotten why I started doing music. But at this point in time, I think that's the only thing I know how to do. And it's too far in for me to take a step back and think like I need to go and get a job. Right now, that's not even in my purview. So as it stands, I'm trying to chase more films, so.
That is awesome. That is amazing. Like you being able to get into that, like being able to fall, if you will, I like to kind of say like fall into that in a way, like realize that, hey, you really actually love this, because you are helping to drive a narrative forward. Like, because you have like, directors out there, game designers, writers who want to bring a vision to life. And the one way that they can really do that is by injecting the feeling of music to help make that a reality for people. You're helping people to experience a magic, a joy, feel a feeling, whether it's dread, fear, happiness, sadness, it doesn't matter. You're helping people to experience those emotions through the use of sound. And being able to go down that road, I think, is really, really amazing. And you're right, with a lot of musicians out there, it's like, you respect the grind. You hustle every day to push your music and your creativity out to the world. Some people, they do it because they want to play shows, they want to tour, they want to do all of that kind of stuff, right? They want to push their art out. And then other people are doing it because they're helping to push a narrative forward, with being able to write something for a movie or score something for a game. And then there are people who like to do all of that together. And I think that is a beautiful thing, to be able to help bring these stories that people want to tell to life, essentially. So, I mean, I think that's really, really great. And, hats off to you for going down that road.
Yeah, man. The thing is, as musicians, right, you tend to get caught in your own head. You get trapped in your own head. Like, am I making money tomorrow? Do I have enough to eat? Yeah, but also the thing is, when you do decide to pursue music full time, no matter who you are, when you say that I will be a full time musician, it's not going to be easy. It is going to come with a lot of hustle, with a lot of grind. It is, there'll be days where it'll pull your hair and bring you to your knees, and you really just not want to do it. But so for me, like largely one of the things was that. India has its own cultural music, right? Which is large, which is very dominant in its own, say, the movie industry. But because as a kid I've grown up more on the Western influences. It was a bit difficult to crack that space, but I just like had a conversation with myself, which said like, hey, you know what? It's a big world. And with today's connectivity and everything, you can be in any corner of the world. You just have to make sure that you reach out to some of the right people who will help you, become who you want to be in general. It's just a thing, bro. Like, I don't think you can make it alone as a musician in today's time. You need to be in synergy with everyone around you and see, how you can be of help to someone else and how someone else can help you out, and eventually everyone moves forward together. So
you were really right about that. I like to say this kind of thing, but you aren't winning unless you're all winning, unless you're all working together collectively, to help bring, the
right.
sound forward. It's all part of a community. It's all about building a bridge, building something bigger than yourself, because in the end of the day, it's not, making music. Yes, it's for you, being an artist. Yes. But also too, it's like, it's something much larger than you, because you are helping to bring hope to people in a way, helping people to feel a certain way about their day and their life. So it's much larger than you. It's taken on its own other form. So I can totally agree with what you're talking about, for sure.
Right. But yeah, again, man, I don't like just you and I sitting here and doing this, right? I remember I sent you a message, and I sent you like a preview copy of the EP, and then we had a conversation, and you were very kind enough to offer this, and let's have a chat and everything. It's amazing again, because if I just sit here in my corner of the world and think that, hey, you know what, I'm very happy to make music just for my city and just for, like, say, the 100 people who know me, who would come and watch me, I'm fairly certain, bro, Ronin won't last more than a year, because fuck, synthesizers are expensive, plugins are expensive, production is expensive, it costs money, right? So it just makes sense to as a musician to just figure out, where you can network and where you can get into. And while you're at it, if you have something to offer to the other person, it would be very valuable if you can also offer that to the other person. It goes a long way, uh, just to survive as a musician in the circuit in general. So very much with you on that thought, man.
Definitely, definitely. What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
For me, I'm not really sure what I'm trying to accomplish as a musician, but I'm very certain about one thing, that I'm not really looking for instant gratification, if that counts for anything. Like, I'm not really looking uh, to be a star for, like, say 2 years and then, like, just dropped off from the grid and, like, nobody knows where I am or what I'm doing. Not personally, but as a musician. For me, the idea is not to be a musician for 5 years. For me, the idea is to, be a musician till I'm 80 years old. So for right now, it's a very small personal goal, which is to constantly keep on making music till I grow old, and make sure that I'm able to earn my living till the time I die as a musician. For me, that is a massive accomplishment um, than anything else. Like, it's it's okay if there are not too many followers or if there are not too many listeners, but for me, the idea is to just survive as a musician for my entire life. It would honestly kill me to go and get a job. So for me right now, it's just about accomplishing the security as a musician, which will set me up for, say, like the next 20 to 30 years. And that's what I'm working on. And most of my decisions that I take, whether it's, say, as Ronin or Shezan for film composing, they're based on the fact that, if I do this project or if I put this album out, where does it set me up a year from now? You know, um, like, if I'm releasing an album in 6 months, it's not about the immediate date of the release, the stuff that comes, but it's about what that album will do for me 6 months down the line, whether it's in terms of music video or merchandising, or just, being able to go get shows and stuff. Um, like, at least for India, it's a very competitive market, man. Like, if you start, researching into the Indian live scene, it is massive. Like, the audiences is huge, the festivals are huge, the stage setups are amazing. Uh, a lot of bands and artists, like, really, really want to come and perform in India. Like, to be honest, Megadeth, as much as they tour abroad, for when they come down and play here, they have the support that they would get in 1990s when Rust in Peace came out. So there's a massive following and massive audiences in general looking for, like, new music, new artists. And yeah, it's right now, it's just about figuring where Ronin ends up next, with the releases and everything. And for me personally, as Shezan, it's about, uh, what is the next feature film, like a Bollywood film that I can, like, hopefully snag and get locked onto, and what commercials can I get into. So it's a broad spectrum for me, because I'm working, I'm making, say, my earnings while doing commercial work, and I'm reinvesting that in Ronin and trying to, like, just bring that up and moving. And my I don't know if it's the end game, but I would be very, very happy if, somewhere in the future, hopefully in the next 5 years, if Ronin can get on tour with, Perturbator or Carpenter Brut, and just, like, do a full-fledged tour with those guys. For me, that's like it's done. Like, I'll be very happy if Ronin can go and achieve that. And it's fine if the albums don't sell, but if I can go and tour with those guys, I'm very happy.
That's awesome. That is amazing. I cannot wait for you to get out there on tour, on the road, and hopefully maybe you'll come over to the United States and see you perform over here, because I think that'd be great. You being a creator, it goes hand in hand, like being able to write stuff for movies and films and things like that. Films and TV and video games, goes hand in hand with your creativity as a solo artist. Being able to do that, you're helping it to sustain itself. And that right there is really, really important, because you are continuing to keep your creativity where it is in its medium, creating music, building that art, helping to push that narrative forward. And my friend, you are going some amazing places, and I cannot wait to see where it leads you for sure. So thank you for sharing that with
Thank
us.
you, man. And hey, man, if Ronin ever comes to the States, like I'm definitely coming and hanging out with you for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. What positive message would you give your fans out there?
Whatever it is that you're trying to pursue in life, don't be a slave to your head. You know, it's very easy to get into a conversation with yourself, and especially if fan or musician or just a creative person, it's very easy to get into a conversation with your head, and you'll actually end up realizing that the world is not the enemy, it's your own head which is beating you down, and stopping you from trying to achieve certain things in life that you would want as just anyone. So yeah, man, like I'd largely just say that, like, don't whatever it is, wherever you are, don't be too harsh on yourself, and it's that line from Gunship, isn't it? Like, it's just a bad day, it's not a bad life. So yeah, that's the only thing I'd like to say, man.
Right there, everybody. Wise words from Shezan here of Ronin. You're right. Sometimes we can get in our heads. We can get into our heads, and we could really just, we can go from having a really good day to a really bad day. But you're right. You're right. Just like the lyrics in the song, it's just a bad day. It's not a bad life. It all depends on how you look at things. So to everybody out there, every day things change,
Right.
things are different, things move in different directions. It's all up to us to try to make the best of those moments. It's like when they say, like the old saying goes, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. You make the best of your situation. So everybody out there, if you have something that you want to build or something that you want to be creative about, build it, push it to the forefront, make it the best it can be, build it up, like nurture it, let it shine. Because when you do, you will go some amazing places. Your creativity is endless. As you can see right here, just like by me talking with Shezan here, everybody, like that creativity can be pushed into so many different areas. It really can, and it can really sustain you. If you want to make music as a living, then do it. If you want to make music as just an artist who wants to put something out, do it. There's nothing holding you back but yourself and your head. If you listen to your head all the time, sometimes it can hold you back. But if you listen to that voice inside of your heart, you listen to that and you push it to the forefront, you really will do some amazing things. You really will. So thank you so much for taking this time to sit down and do this interview today, Shezan. Thank you to everybody out there who tuned in to watch us have this conversation. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our Fiend YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one from Shezan of RONIN. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.
Thank you, Jack. Like, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out for, just having this chat. And yeah, man, see you soon. And hey, before we bounce, also good luck with your project, man.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's a long time coming for this new music, so I'm really happy to get it out. And to everybody out there, if you want to hear some amazing music, go and check out Ronin. Go and check out his newest release, Kyoto Inferno. It has got some amazing sounds on it. It's got really good, it's overall great stuff. From me to you guys, top-notch stuff. You guys are really going to enjoy it. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.
Same here, bro.